Deep with the raise.
Speaking of covering up half your face, how many buy-ins do you think those sunglasses cost?
How many buy-ins?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm not a sunglass aficionado, but I'm hoping not more than one.
I'm just seeing the LV on the side, assuming that it's
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Could be. Blind on blind. King 8-6, Rodriguez.
Noel seems very good at flopping top pair blind versus blind against Sean Deeb. This time he's in much better shape.
Yeah,
though.
he is.
I wonder if Sean checks here. He's been fast playing when he has it a lot, but he also knows that everyone's seen him just bet a few times in a row, so he might maybe take it easy when he doesn't have it for the first time. Also, this isn't a particularly good hand to be betting on the flop. You don't have a lot of outs if your opponent calls.
So they both check. Interesting. Maybe try to get deep to catch something.
Yeah, sneaky check by Noel, and he has quite a nice hand for it because when he has King 7 of clubs in particular, there's really no turn cards that he dislikes. Club is good. Any sort of straightening card just helps out his hand. Most other cards are blanks aside from an ace.
Yeah, maybe counting on Sean to do just what he's doing here, or try to steal the pot.
Yeah. His plan is working to perfection so far.
Noel's no newcomer to this situation either. So if we know that, all the players know that. Sean Deeb obviously knows that. But you got to put pressure on, find those pressure points.
What I'm really interested in is the inevitable river after Rodriguez calls this turn. Does Sean shut down, or does he keep going on a different number of cards? And I feel like most of the time he's going to shut down because the check back flop call turn line is a little bit scary. It feels like your opponent was pretty happy to get to showdown, which usually indicates middle or top, like a weak top pair. And I'm not really trying to get that range of hands to fold if I'm Sean Deeb, especially if the river is something like a 3 or a deuce.
No card can come that would help the Deeb enough. It can only hurt him at this point. Wow, that's interesting.
That's a really rough card for Sean to bluff on, because now you just have a bunch of hands that will never ever fold, no matter how much money you put in the pot, as their trips. And then if Rodriguez had something like an 8 or a 6, he's going to be a lot more likely to call the river because combinatorically Sean just has less kings now.
And Deeb was the pre-flop raiser. The king came and he checked. No continuation there.
Yeah, and after continuation betting so often in previous hands, you kind of expect if Sean has a better king, he would just keep betting it, right? If he had something like king 10, king... Oh, wow.
Did you say all in?
Yeah, this is a pretty big misstep for Sean. I mean, I imagine Noel's not going to fold. Yeah, he calls immediately.
Call, and Sean Deeb
Wow.
just got caught in a big way. That is Matiso blow-up-like as Rodriguez will double through Deeb.
3.725.
A pot of $10.5 million.
That was a huge pot and just disastrous for Sean.
6 deuce, 2 spades. He bets 1.5. I think it 1.5 big blinds.
2 big stacks, blind on blind.
Oh, wow.
And, oh, queens for Schulman.
You double gutted, whatever. And a backdoor flush.
This is wild because this is the 2 chip leaders,
Yeah.
blind versus blind.
And then I bluffed it off with
Presumably too big of hands to not go with. The only saving grace would be if Schulman decides to peel in position and get sneaky here.
2.5. I just 3.5. Yeah.
2.5, I think he said.
He raises very quickly, and this money's going in.
Oh, you couldn't see?
I mean,
oh, they're not
I
showing?
can't see a world where
it
Noel
was
doesn't just jam and try to pick up the
Ace-10
pot.
suited, king jack off.
Rodriguez a bigger stack, but just barely.
I can give you exact if you want.
And even though it's Schulman, you could tell he was a little
Yeah, 10.
uneasy, or there was
10.5.
just something in knowing that this is going to be a big hand. The way he just kind of comported himself before he put those chips in, there was an aura about him that said, "This is going to be big. I got to brace myself for it."
Certainly going to be a big hand if Noel wants to make it a big hand.
Do you do it now?
When you have exactly ace-king offsuit, it's so nice to just shove, and whenever your opponent has a bluff, you pick up 2.5 million. Those chips are crucial. Changing the stacks in such a way when your opponent folds is really important. Now you become a pretty big chip leader. Yeah. So I can't see a world where this money doesn't go in. Nick wasn't 3-betting to fold, and
He's just trying to find the words to say it.
All in.
Yep, there you
there
go.
it is. Look at Nick.
It's
doesn't
almost
even-
going,
oh, he
yeah,
doesn't
here
really
I
call.
go. Queens against ace, king, the 2 chip leaders, and a pot of over 21 million.
I have 60% of the chips.
Cover? I didn't even know what the fuck to do.
It's not a fun spot to be in.
As mentioned, just about 48 million chips in play.
This is insane. It's rare that you'll see these guys collide.
It is Schulman at risk.
Wouldn't absurd hand.
Yeah.
Right? Just
I agree with both you did every time.
Suddenly-
Look at Schulman's
But I
face.
also-
He is
I see
not
him all the
loving
time.
this.
Ace king against queens. Queens are still good for Schulman. Rodriguez would be left with 300,000 if he
ace,
can't
king, queen.
find it
I have
out.
ace king.
Like 6.5 days.
Wow.
And now a jack bringing a queen into the equation.
Expensive river.
I think it's like
Schulman looking to avoid disaster, and
Wow.
he does indeed.
Yes.
Lee was the chip leader to start the day. 5.6 million.
Wow. Something to be said for just maintaining.
Yeah, right?
I'm sure it wasn't a smooth road, you know. I'm sure there were some peaks and valleys in there, but sometimes you're like, if I could just get to the final table with this many chips, I'd be a happy guy.
Schulman, 2.8 million to start the day. 8th place. There's an 8 in the window.
And a diamond. Oh, look at this.
Wow. Schulman was ahead for about 2 seconds.
You know, Nick ran well to win that flip. But since then, it's been a tough road for him, the way the cards have run out.
Lee open raised with that ace tray.
Did Nick lead out here, or did Lee continuation bet? I feel
No,
like...
Schulman let out.
Wow. Wow, this is interesting.
Well, Lee knows Schulman doesn't have a better 3.
Oh.
$350 from each. This gets better for Yingui Lee.
Bit of an action killer card because Lee, when he calls on the flop, it looks like he'd have a lot of hands around the ace-jack range. Obviously, he could have some other stuff. He can have a 3, as we see. He can have some pocket pairs. But he's going to have a lot of ace-highs when he just calls the flop.
The flush does Schulman no good.
Oh!
But an 8 on the end gives Schulman the best hand. What a run out.
Oh my goodness. How did Schulman want to play this? If you think that your opponent plays an ace like this a lot, you almost want to go for the check raise because you know that they're going to value bet their better ace X hands like ace jack.
Wow.
And then you get to put that bigger bet in there. Or you could just overbet right now. That's certainly a way to go about it as well.
And if you're Lee, how do you get away from this?
Yeah, this is this is super frustrating for Lee because you only lose to an 8, but when your opponent bets this big, they're kind of representing a 3 or an 8.
Time extensions coming forward. 2 of them.
This is one of those spots where you're you're supposed to just flick the money in, right? But sometimes it just feels bad in the pit of your stomach. You feel like
something's up, and
yeah,
something's up.
You put those chips in there. Yeah,
he does
puts
call.
it in.
He does make the call, and Schulman turns over a near impossible run out.
You have pitch 2.
On.
Yep, 8 bigs.
That's a lot of hand when you have 8 big blinds. That feels good.
2.6.
Schulman will be throwing this in the
Yeah,
muck.
that's a wise fold.
That pause concerned me for a moment, but
Yeah, Lyle with pocket pair.
2.6.
How much?
oof, this is awfully close for Lyle.
He's got deep covered, but
You're not really dominating much. Maybe a few lower pocket pairs. But you're not even confident that something like 2s or 3s even goes all in this spot.
yep, he made the call with the pocket pair.
Yeah.
And looking to overcome the ace-king of Deeb. Deeb, the one at risk and on his feet.
That said, you're
Need
getting,
the REA lock for the flip.
you're being laid a very nice price out of the big blinds.
Team
9
lucky
bigs,
member
call 6.
Josh
6s
Aryeh
and
being
6s.
invoked.
Did I call a 6s here?
Should I call the 6s here?
Oh,
Too late.
Rey contra 6.
Maybe
Seven
ask
to raise.
before you
Seven
call
to
it.
raise.
Call it off next time. I know it's against the rules, but
Or
it
it might
seems
be
like
seven.
better
Josh.
strat.
Literally.
What's that?
That
Team
match
lucky
stacks.
player.
Like
Sixes are still
75,
good.
75, I think,
Well,
I
yeah, I think it's like 25 difference.
Okay. Yeah. I think
Wow, we
that's
got
2.5.
3
Oh,
team lucky
3
hats.
team
How do you
lucky hats.
lose?
At glance.
Well,
The hat trick.
yeah, I think it's just this 25.
Yeah.
I think that's 2.
Lyle 6 is still ahead right here. Turn card. Another 5.
Oh, a little fishy double up, please.
A little fishy
He covers like
Pull the
25.
kick.
Okay, if
I like
I'm
this kid.
correct, that's 2.6. That's
Yeah, if
With
that's
you.
the second 20.
Ace
yeah,
or
that's
king.
like a 20.
No, but
To keep
Duckworth gave
Deeb
me
in
40.
the game.
He's gonna get his way.
River card.
Oof.
10 of spades, and that is going to do it.
The fish. Again.
Our first knockout is the man who came to this table when we were 8-handed as one of the 2 big stacks.
Just
That's
Tough.
not a call, is it?
Tough
Deeb.
final
That's
table
not
for
much of a
Sean.
call.
Yeah, it was tough, and he won't win bracelet number 7. He
Just
walks
double
off
confirm
from
it.
team not so lucky at the moment.
Has the type of hand that's going to have to call,
He's all in.
and it has you dominated, so
Rodriguez folds quickly.
I highly doubt Schulman is going to fold here. It's about 6.5 big blinds more. Just getting a great price, and his hand could be flipping with a number of hands.
Is that 2.1?
There's a black chip. 2.55.
There is the
There it
call
is.
with a dominating hand, and Schulman will be very happy to see the king-jack on their backs.
Rey dama contra Rey
You
J.
said it. That's
This is in the
as
pocket.
good a news as
Cordy
Nick
has
could ever get.
King, jack suited.
Lee looks
Nick has
devastated.
king, queen off. Nick has king, queen.
King, queen, king, jack.
First tag.
We got the king, queen, boy.
Yep, we do.
King, queen, king, jack.
Chip leader about to get more chip
Jack
leader. Lee, the live jack, and suits.
Short stack has king, jack, and stops. The other guy has
Chip leader to start this day. Now all in and at risk. A king in the window. 9, 10.
Ooh.
These.
The outs have flipped.
Nick has a diamond of
I
King
noticed
10-9.
that Noel folded a queen, by
Rey
the
10
way.
9.
Okay.
I didn't see any jacks go in the muck, so if that's the case, that's bad news for Lee.
Harmless turn card. Lee needs a queen to stick around this high roller.
Gauchi Lai.
River card, tray of diamonds, the last card that Yinghui Lee will play in this 25K high roller, out in 7th place for over $202,000. Schulman with a raise.
Just putting Perez on.
Oh, wow,
Perez
and
is
Perez with queen 9.
quick call for Perez. I feel as if, they're at 400 big blind
Dama 9
now.
contra
For
9.
Nick, Queen 9 spades. for
Yeah.
David.
Yeah,
Blind
this
just went up, yeah.
This is at least very close for Perez. The confidence at which he snapped it in there, I'm going to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt and say this was a call.
O pica.
Obviously,
Queen 9 with the Spaniard.
Schulman has ace 9 here, but
ace 9.
quite often Schulman has
like
a
these
much
guys.
worse hand and Perez is ahead.
Well, we've seen it quite often.
Yeah.
All right, queen 9 at risk. There's a 9 in the window. Schulman, a chance to add almost $3 million to a stack. Not quite.
There's no way. It's locked up.
Roberto Perez sees a tray come on the turn, so he's down to just one of the 3 remaining queens, or he will be our 6th place finisher, and Schulman will get that much stronger.
I don't think Lobster Shirt is a Spanish railbird.
That's possible, yeah. 4 of hearts
Good game.
on the end, and Perez gone in 6th place.
Good game.
Another nice result for a very competent poker player. $273,414 for 6th place. Well done, Roberto Perez. All right, Heath calls all in with a dominating hand over Schulman. Now Stam in the big blind, a quick squeeze, and he's out of it. Schulman trying to use the big stack with the 10-6 suited. Ran into Heath with the ace 10 all in.
10-6 of clubs against ace 10.
Ace 10, 10-6. 10-6.
This was fairly unfortunate for Schulman, let's be clear. Obviously, he could just have a big pair as well, but
You could stop that one.
he's not putting the money in with ace 6, so really the only hand that calls and dominates you is ace 10. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Forget it. Every time I say Schulman got unlucky.
Delta Pigu.
Schulman flops, trips 6s,
Okay.
and now an ace for Heath. It ain't over. Heath moving the chips forward, trying to summon all the poker power he can to find another ace on the river. The river card, though, is 7 of spades, and that will do it.
Playing well.
Good game. Nice
Very
game.
good player and a very
I love
good
watching you
showing.
on Trident.
Ben Heath out in 5th place for almost 377 grand. We were 8-handed for
All right.
more than 2 levels.
That's my minimum calling range here.
They started falling off. Sean Deep, the first to go, at 8th place. Yinghui Lee went out 7th. Roberto Perez,
I don't
6th.
know.
Ben Heath recently out
I
at
just
5th.
don't know. What should I have if I fold? I have 2 big blinds if I fold.
That's what Nick has done to this table.
Stam is short enough that I believe he calls off this hand. But if his opponents were worse at poker, and there was some chance that they would gamble it up if he stays in,
Let's see.
then I could see a decent argument for folding Jack 5 suited, or even stronger than
Two
Jack
big
5 suited, but
blinds.
his opponents have made it somewhat clear that they aren't going to be putting money into the pot even close to light until he's out of the
3
tournament
big
or doubles up.
blinds, 3 is 6, 7.
So that changes things a lot.
I really don't know, but I call.
Okay. Stam now at risk and
Guys are
dominated.
dominated. Every one of these are dominated.
Good call.
Nick Schulman with a chance to knock off yet another
Queen five.
player
5, Jack 5.
and get us
Dominated every time.
three-handed.
I have Queen 5 off. He has Jack 5 suited. Do you? No, I can't.
Nick Schulman in line to pick up this pot of almost $3 million. David Stam,
Yeah, big blind has Jack 5.
and there's the queen.
Looks bleak.
It does. That old less than
Four?
symbol
How
is
about a
never
four?
good.
Diamonds.
You said it, Stan.
4 hearts. 4 hearts.
Yeah, give him the 4 of hearts.
All right.
Ooh.
All
7 of
right.
hearts. You
That's
love
the
to
real
see it.
deal.
All right.
He wasn't greedy about
There
it.
we
He didn't
go.
ask for 2 jacks.
Oh, that's chop also.
He's improved to 0%. Looking for a chop.
Give my guy the deuce of hearts. Oh,
Not going to do it, and that is it. David
Yeah,
Stam
it was a
out.
blast. It was a
4th
real
place.
experience.
His
What a ride,
finest
David.
finish
Yeah, thank you so
ever.
much. I really appreciate it.
luck is on your side. Your play is very strong.
He's done that before, not all in. Oh,
Oh,
and Schulman to come.
and this is why you don't put it all in, because if Rodriguez goes all in here and then Schulman goes all in over the top, now you might have a fold with a number of hands.
Yeah,
Schulman wouldn't be going all in over the top without something
All
quite
in?
strong.
yeah, he's going to go all in. Schulman quickly folds. Lyle brings it. What's he got?
Ace King, Ace 3.
Ace Trey?
Ace King, Ace 3.
Ace 3 against
Ace
Ace
King.
King.
Yeah,
Lyle
Ace
with
King, Ace
ace
King.
Ace 3 of hearts
Trey.
against Ace King.
The shorter stack with the lesser hand. Rodriguez, who was on
Flush, please.
fumes. 2 big blinds way back when at this final table. In position to finish or to move in and guarantee him second place. Ace Trey against Ace King.
8-7-5 spades.
Rodriguez,
Fucked.
a huge favorite.
You're on the bubble right now?
Scotsman looking for
Good
some
luck.
Irish luck.
Schulman really wants a chop, by the way.
That's a spicy one.
Schulman would love a 6 here.
See the outs for Lyle. Deuce or Trey.
Deuce.
River card.
Yeah.
There's a 9 of spades again. Rodriguez
Good plan.
Good luck.
guarantees himself second. Dean Lyle out in third place for over $760,000. What a performance by the Scotsman. What a fun night it has been from the very get-go,
By the way,
Jesse
the
Sylvia.
blinds, they're the same. Okay.
Just wild action from beginning till now.
So Schulman, a monster
Check.
chip lead as mentioned. Jack Deuce ahead for Rodriguez against the 10-4 of Schulman, who's ready to play every hand, any hand. There's a 10 in the window, a deuce for Rodriguez. Two
Wow.
clubs also for Rodriguez.
This is a lot of hand for both players, heads up. 15 blinds deep. And the fact that Schulman started with a bet could be explosive. He's certainly not looking to fold top pair once he puts money in the pot. When he's
Pair
this
and a
short.
flush draw for Rodriguez.
This could go either way for Rodriguez. He could raise or he could call.
1.3 million.
There's the raise. We were 8-handed when he was down to 2 big blinds, weren't we?
Yeah, he could have
Rodriguez.
easily. And he was all in with Jack 3 versus 8, Jack 9 versus Ace 9.
Right.
River Jack. He could have easily been out in 8. He's got nearly $1 million difference from 8th to 2nd locked up, playing for another 500,000. What a world.
Call on the cheese board. Time extension for Schulman. Does he want to go up against, but maybe he's figuring a flush draw. He does say all in, and there is the call for Rodriguez, who has the statistical advantage.
10-4. Yes, 10-4. 10-4.
You know, when you shove with 10-4 there and your opponent raises and snaps you off, you're really loving seeing the Jack Deuce of clubs.
Rodriguez with a quarter of the deck in his corner. Schulman, a clean turn and river from bracelet number 5.
This rail just came alive. Let's go.
Sean Daniels in the crowd. So here we go. Nick Schulman trying to put the icing on this very big cake. 6 of spades. 1 card to come.
We have 10-4.
Nick playing some very solid defense with that little 4 of clubs.
Jack, deuce, or club for Rodriguez to double up and stick around. The river card, the 6 of hearts, and that's going to do it.
Quite great.
One hand.
1 hand of heads up, completing a masterful performance in poker power, precision poker, and dare I say perfect poker. Nick Schulman wins World Series of Poker bracelet number 5, his first and no limit hold'em.